Hello, everyone. Good night. Welcome to another Create a Flow Live. I am Elesha Jacobs, and thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know where you're joining me in from tonight. This is going to be a review of Apple's annual event, which is called the Worldwide Development Conference, which starts today and it goes up until Wednesday, or what they call WWDC for short. And basically, the whole essence of the WWDC conference is for developers, app developers, people who design apps specifically to cater to Apple users. And also, Apple, this is an opportunity for Apple to talk about their upgrades in terms of their operating systems and even their devices. What I really like about this year, they did a total overhaul of our OS in the side of the Apple ecosystem. And so that is what I'm going to be getting into tonight. So before we get into it, if you this is your first time viewing a live with me, this is a weekly live session I do with my Substack as well as my YouTube community, where I either review tech, I teach on different aspects of productivity systems automation. That is my zone of genius. I am a technologist by certification, by passion, by love, and all the things. And so I have been in the tech field for well over 20 plus years. And so I have not only led IT departments, but a fun fact that a lot of people do not know, I know how to actually build computers, repair them, and the whole works. I can set up a whole network infrastructure, and the long list goes on. I did a little programming, coding, and all the things. So I'm very versed in various verticals inside of the tech industry. And so um I rarely talk about it unless you're inside of my communities, but I was advised that I need to share more of who I am and my experiences with regards to technology. I love tech from the age of 11, so it's a lot of years with not only just loving it and being an enthusiast of tech, but also I've worked in the field from entry level right into management, right into administration, and all the things. So I have been in the various aspects and scopes of the tech field from, like, let's say, the grassroots coming up. All right. But today, like I said, was the first day of WWDC. They have 2 more days. And again, it's more catered towards the developers. I looked at two of the keynotes today. The first was the general keynote, which everybody gets to see what is new for iOS, iPad OS, Mac OS, Vision OS, and TV OS. Oh, and Watch OS. There's a lot of OSs, right? And so there are a lot of changes. I'm super excited for us to go through that keynote. And also, I am looking at it from the perspective of not only as a consumer who has Apple products, or a entrepreneur or creative who uses Apple products, but also I'm looking at it from a different perspective of not only creativity, but also from a lens of productivity. How you can actually use these different devices to make your work flow easier as well as level up your productivity. And that is basically what I've been teaching in the last few months on my different platforms, as to how you can make your iPad or your iPhone or even your Mac OS actually work for you, how you can make these devices work for you and not against you. So I do have some people who are joining in from Barbados and other places. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're viewing this on the replay, please let me know in the comments uh, where you're joining in from. And so we are going to get right into it because there is a lot we need to cover with regards to um, the keynote. There is a lot that they covered. So we are going to go right into it. So, like for the people who are now coming in, if you are not aware of, and you can find all of this information on apple.com. This is directly from their website. But a lot of the stuff that they discuss with WWDC this year is the total overhaul or redesign that they have done to the entire ecosystem of their operating system. OS is short for operating system. So they have done a total redesign in over a decade. The last time they did an overhaul like this was in iOS 7, I believe. Yeah, iOS 7, and that was a couple of years ago. All right. And I kind of believe it's over a decade ago. The time is going by so fast. So, for the past couple weeks, I have been reading various tech articles. That is a pastime for me, where I literally read the different tech articles talking about what, different people's takes on what was coming, insider information, and all these things. And the keynote didn't disappoint, but it's the little things inside of the presentation that really captured my attention. And so, super excited to get into it. All right. So, they are going to be doing a full redesign. Just to know two things. This is going to be available to in the fall. Usually, once they announce software updates, they usually release it in the fall, in the month of October or November. But for persons like myself who are on the developers aspect where we get to test run the beta version of it, it's going to be released in next month, which is July. All right. So everything is getting a overhaul. And as a person who has, interestingly enough, the only thing I don't have is the Vision, Vision Pro. But you basically use an iOS, iPad OS, Mac OS, Watch OS, and TV OS. So everything is going to be getting a different look. And this is super exciting. One of the few things, just as a highlight, one of the new designs that they're going to be highlighting is their liquid display. And so with the liquid display, you're going to have that glass-like feature or a glass-like design. And it's going to give a little more immersive experience with your different devices. And this goes for across the board with all their devices. Now, I think the main aspect for them doing this redesign is to have a unified ecosystem, and you will see as we go into the various OSs what that actually looks like. But everything needs to be unified, and they're working towards having that unified ecosystem and leveling up the experiences of users across all of the devices. And yes, some people may argue, liquid glass is not a new concept. Maybe other phones and other versions of different softwares already use it, but again, this is coming to the Apple ecosystem. So they're gonna be delivering that liquid glass to the devices. One of the other features that they talked about was visual intelligence. I did make a short, or not a short, yeah, a short on, or a reel on Instagram as well as TikTok, where I was showing persons, especially if you have the 15 Pro, yeah, if you have the iPhone 15 or iPhone 16, how you can actually use visual intelligence. A part of that unified ecosystem is the use of AI or artificial intelligence. But Apple, Apple, they like to make everything unified. So they call it Apple Intelligence. And so everything is integrating into Apple Intelligence. Now, I must say this. when Apple Intelligence was first announced, I do believe a lot of users wanted Apple Intelligence to be like a competitor of ChatGPT and Claude AI and all these different AI models. And though it's built or it supports those models, the initial thought of them developing uh Apple Intelligence was for it to actually operate within the ecosystem. So certain key elements of things that you do on a daily basis, the AI model is learning from you. It will suggest and it's going to make you doing certain key things on your phone easier. So one of those key features is the visual intelligence, where you can either take a snapshot of something and you can either search for it, or you can ask a question about a specific thing, and it's going to use AI to bring up those responses for you. And so this is going to be pretty cool. I'm very happy that they're going to be putting a little more effort into the visual intelligence. Yes, if you have you're updated with your iOS on your phone, you can use Apple Intelligence. And so you can see, and it depends on which model. I think it's from the 14 or the 15, I believe. Do not quote me. But I think it's from the 14 or the 15. You can actually use Apple Intelligence, visual intelligence, sorry, where you can either take a picture of something and then you can either ask a question, or it will actually search for that identical thing that you took the picture of, and then it's going to give you the results. The good thing about the visual intelligence is that they're giving you multiple different sources, not only from Google. Maybe you can get it if you use Pinterest a lot, if you use Etsy, you can choose your sources. So I think this is really good that they are adding and they're improving and upgrading the AI in that way. All right. Now, when it comes to the communication, they will be adding additional languages and live translation with your messages. And I think this was very, very good because worldwide, the brand is known worldwide. And so now you can type your message and it's going to actually translate that message, and you can send the message based on the preferred language that you want to send it through. So I think this is really good, and it's not only in messages, it's going to come in FaceTime as well as your phone calls. Also, one of the most exciting things, if you are new around here, if you know, you know, I'm an iPad girly. And when it comes to productivity, I be rocking with my iPad like 90% of the time. So there are so many. I'm looking forward to the iPad OS, the new iPad OS 26, because they are integrating some key features when it comes to productivity, working smarter and having that seamless flow. And I'm super excited for that. So they are actually introducing windowing system uh for the iPad. I have been asking for this feature. I think it's a couple weeks back. I was like, please, can we have some windowing feature where I don't have to remember, just tap, go to file, save? So there is some complete overhauls on the iPad, from the how you manage your filing system to how you multitask, and that windowing system is definitely going to supercharge the iPad, and I'm super excited for that. Right now, your Apple Watch is also going to get an upgrade where once you have your AirPods and so forth, you will be able to have AI again coming in, a natural language with and so intuitive how they would have integrated that feature where you have a workout buddy. So as you're walking and you're doing your different exercises and your watch is tracking you, you will actually have that audible motivation, and you'll be here, oh, you just completed X miles, where to go, keep going. That type of motivation. So The watch is also getting upgrade. Vision Pro also is getting more advanced features where widgets, they're going to improve on the widgets and so forth, right? So I wish if they had touched a little on TV OS, they did, but I will see how I'm interested to see how TV OS, some of the features for TV OS will be. Of course, it's gonna have that glass like feature and all the things, but I wish if they had also touched on that a little more extensive. So these are some of the features of what that liquid glass will bring to both hardware and software. You're gonna have a new universal design. That liquid glass, it's going to be reflective through whether you're in light mode or dark mode. You will also have your vibrant lock screen. Yes, I'm very happy that clock can now expand down and there's more, a little more customization with the lock screen. Your icons are definitely going to get an update, so everything is going to get that liquid glass. Now if you don't want to use the regular standard, it's going to have this glossy look with the standard icons. But if you want to have the color tinted or this transparent glass look, the option will be available for you. They've also include dynamic controls, and the camera app does have an overall overhaul as well. So how not only having those rounded features, but also how it's going to just seamlessly uh blend with your the different content on your phone. All right. And so your everyday apps also is not only getting the liquid glass, but they're also doing a few changes and features in terms of the layout the of like let's say your camera app. It's more accessible. And again, one of the main things that really stood out to me in the keynote is that they're looking to see how they can simplify how people work on these different devices or how they use the devices every single day. It needs to be more seamless, it needs to be more effortless and easier and more visually appealing for users. And that is good, right? So with the Apple Intelligence overall, you have they upgrading the AI, so you will be having live translation. You're gonna have your visual intelligence, they workflows and the automations that is built into shortcuts. I am going to be doing a deep dive into it because there are so many different things that you can automate on your various devices. And a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually automate and get certain things done without you having to actually pick up your device. And so, with the intelligent actions coming into shortcuts, it is going to be a game changer. And I'm so excited to try that particular feature out as a systems and automation person that I am. All right. So the emojis and the Jinmoji and the playground and all of that is going to be getting some upgrades as well. And some other finer features. I mean, for the keynote they weren't able to talk about everything, but as users continually use and they fix different bugs and all those other things, definitely you would see all the little things that we tend to miss in the keynote or they didn't mention in the keynote. It does come up for with everyday users. Now, with the communication, they're saying goodbye to distractions. And one of the key things I'm noticing with a lot of these different ecosystems, whether it's Apple, Google, Android, whatever, they realize that they need not only to make devices and make these ecosystems more intelligent, but also it is important to level up people's productivity, how they actually use their devices in such a way that makes them do meaningful work on those devices. So when I saw they talking about limiting and saying goodbye to distractions, that is so on point for persons who want to really stay focused on their devices, on what it is they're doing, whether they're creating, whether they're just unwinding, or whatever the case may be. Just being able to have an ecosystem that supports that is super important, right? So we have with the use of AI, you're going to be able to manage unwanted calls. So there's call screening that will be there. They went a little in depth with that. You can screen new senders, and I'm so happy for this feature because lately the amount of spam messages that come to the phone is super annoying. So this is a very good feature because you're going to be, if it's an unknown sender, if they're not in your contact list, they're going to go to that section called unknown senders, and from there, and I'm happy that they've put it into those different categories of messages, um, unknown senders, spam, and recently deleted. And you can also filter your unread messages and so forth. So as you find with these different features and these different updates and so forth, they are looking to see how they can seamlessly make the workflows and how people do different things on their devices in a more efficient way, but also it must be easy, right? You can also let the phone app wait on hold for you. So they're introducing what is called Hold Assist. I'm not that person. I don't like to be kept on hold for too long. So Hold Assist is going to actually keep your spot in line while you wait for a live agent. And then it's going to notify you on your phone that they're ready for you. And this is really good. Talk about leveling up, right? All right, so you can also add a background to any conversation. So you're going to have the ability to customize and add your distinct personalities and all the things to your messages as well. And you can also do polls in messages, right? Now, when it comes to the productivity part, I know they've highlighted this. They spend a lot of time on this. So, with the productivity part, it's getting like staying organized is important, simplifying and seamlessly making the workflows work, and also making tasks and getting you to do things very quickly. That's the true essence of the productivity. So, I'm happy that they're doing the windowing system in the iPad. I'm super excited to use that feature because on my iPad I use Stage Manager, and I really love Stage Manager. Though split view is good and all this thing with Stage Manager, especially if you have the iPad Pro, Stage Manager is beautiful. But now they're introducing this windowing system. I can't wait for that. All right. Then we have Spotlight. I think they're going to be uh bringing Spotlight up a little. They're going to enhance Spotlight, and it's going to help you to um do your work even more faster. So the example that it did give is that you can send something to someone and you can type it in Spotlight, and it's the AI and the intuitiveness of the OS is going to actually send it out to you. So this is going to actually be available on Mac OS, right? So, and Mac OS productivity is a whole other beast by itself that I think a lot of users don't utilize well. And I do have a series coming up where I'm going to be showing you how you can get the most out of your Mac OS, right? The filing app, I'm thankful that the files app is getting supercharged, as they say. For me, it's getting a little upgrade because now you can color the folders, you can add your emojis to the folders, and there's some additional organization features that they will be including, and you can also put your folders in the dock at the bottom of your screen on your iPad as well, right? And for those who have the Apple Watches, notes will be coming to the Apple Watch. So again, it's all about that unified ecosystem. What you can do on your you can start on your watch, and once you're in the ecosystem, you can continue it on your iPad, you can continue it on your iPhone, or you can continue it on your MacBook. I'm happy for that, right? For those who have vehicles, they did talk about their leveling up the CarPlay feature. So CarPlay is getting a redesign with the liquid glass as well. They're calling it liquid glass. And also Maps is getting a upgrade as well. When you visit certain places on the maps, you'll be able to quickly find those different or the good spaces within a specific area that you're visiting. The games app will have new updates, spatial scenes for Vision OS. They're going to be elevating that experience. I just want them to bring out their own glasses. That's all I'm asking for, right? Because not everybody wants a Vision Pro. So we, the users, would definitely would like to see or hope that they will bring the glasses out. At least I would be one of them, would be happy for that. Right? And also the Apple TV app and Apple Music Sing. They are doing a little upgrade with that. So that is going to be on the Apple TV. I'm excited to see what are some of the new features with the Apple TV and with this new redesign and so forth. And there are a ton of other things. I do believe that the widgets and so forth that they're going to put into the various operating systems will definitely have an upgrade. They did talk about stacking apps or the stacked apps. There is going to be a upgrade in features with that as well. So everything relating to the Vision Pro to have that spatial experience is going to be there. Here they talk about the Smart Stack. Those are for people who have their Apple Watches. It's going to have that glass look. And again, it's going to be a little more intelligent because it's going to be utilizing the Apple Intelligence as well. And I am so thankful that they are bringing I'll wait. I'll leave that for iPad OS. But um, so that's basically the overview of it. If we go into like the individual OSs, so some people may have a jump scare or had a jump scare where it was right now we're at what iOS macOS 18. So for 18 versions, this was or 18 years, I would say this has been the more or less the naming system for the various versions. So we're at 18. I honestly thought they would have made it to 20 and then switch the year to the year thing, but this commonly happens in the tech field. So they just said, okay, we're going to jump to 26. So everything now is going to be iOS 26, macOS 26, and macOS new version of macOS is going to be macOS Tahoe, if I pronounce that correctly. So it's going to be macOS Tahoe 26, iPad OS 26, and so forth. Right? So this is what your iPhone more or less would be looking like with the liquid glass features. Um, I think we did go through all of that. I'm very interested to see what they do with the Apple Intelligence, and this is key. So now when you actually take a screenshot, you can with your visual intelligence, you can search, ask for questions, and you can also take action with the content on your iPhone screen. I'm super excited to try this feature out. And your personalized chat with the backgrounds are going to be coming in. So I am super excited for to see what how it's going to actually translate, because yes, it looks good in keynote and presentation, but let's see how it actually works with the everyday user. All right. One of the things I think too with the music app, I noticed there's some, especially if you use Apple Music, there's some covers that has animation. It's going to be more visual on your phone, so that is going to be super cool to see. Let me see. So we looked at the fresh designs. Mm. Yeah, so they're bringing out more with the Apple Intelligence as well. I'm happy that this is going to be like a companion to the device as well, because again, like I said earlier, it's more or less your personalized assistant on your Apple devices, so it can help you to get things done very quickly, and it's also learning from you. All right, with working side by side. And surprisingly, they did mention, I can't remember if they did mention Siri getting any features, but as time go on, we'll definitely see that, right? So, oh, and the AirPods definitely will be having the an upgrade in terms of the software. So now you have the option to have your camera remote. So with different gestures and how you actually tap or press on your AirPods, you can actually start recording a video from your AirPods, and you can also stop the recording. And this will be available on AirPods or the AirPods Pro, the latest generation of them. It's also going to, they're going to use the, with the help of AI, of course, they're going to improve on the audio recording as well, and give that high quality audio recording, because from a creator's perspective, a lot of people may want to use their earpods to record, but you know how that goes if you have a pair of earpods. But they're working on giving you a more high quality audio with your earpods, and even your overall mic on your phone. Somebody told that. All right. So, oh, with the journal, I am very happy that they're bringing journal to iPad OS. I was wondering why they were not, why journal was not on the iPad, it's on the iPhone, and a lot of people don't use the journal app. But if you are, I think the journal app is going to be a beautiful addition to the productivity apps that are already in the Apple ecosystem, and bringing it to the iPad is going to be super, super cool, because if you're that person who likes to journal in the mornings, or you like to wind down and you want to journal in the evenings, instead of having to actually if pay for an additional subscription, you already have a free app that is integrated into the OS. So I'm super happy that they bring Journal to the iPad. I was waiting for that, because I was like, why didn't they put it on the iPad? People who have iPad and a pencil, they want to journal. That's the reason for most people getting it, because they want to do that writing. And I'm very thankful that that journal is going to be a beautiful addition to the productivity apps. All right. So the Tech Doc UK said I like that feature. Yeah. So iOS 26 is going to be compatible with these devices. Um, they're going to be the entire 16 line, and iPhone 17. I'm assuming at the end of the year, iPhone 15s, the 14s, the 13s, the 12s, and the 11s, and iPhone SE second generation and later, right? So that these are the devices that the new OS will be compatible with. Now, this is good to note, because there's usually a cutoff when it comes to support. So sometimes you don't even get the upgrades that you need, especially if you have the older generations of the older phones. So it's good to note if you're thinking about upgrading, or um, you will just want to know if you're able to run it. These are the devices that is going to be compatible with. Right now with Mac OS, and again, for those who have a Mac OS or MacBook Pro, iMac, Mac Mini, and you're using MacBook Air or whatever. So the new OS is going to be called Tahoe, Mac OS Tahoe 26. And again, this is getting the liquid design as well. And they have overhauled the entire call app on your phone. That is the Keynote read. They really showcase how that is going to actually look as well. So you're going to actually have live activities. So you will be on the phone. So you see this pop-up will be coming up, especially if you have all your devices under one Apple ID. And notice in their call app now, you would be seeing, so they will prioritize favorites, and then you have your recent list appearing. So it's going to be a little more cohesive and more visually appealing, right? Also with the spotlight, and again, I don't think a lot of people use spotlight the way it's supposed to be used, but it was interesting that they're doing this, and I'm glad that they are using the spotlight with Apple Intelligence to make workflows more seamless and easy. So this is an example. You can have thousands of actions in spotlight. You can say it out loud. You could speak the commands, or you can actually type those commands. Right? Mac OS is also going to have that glass-like design, and I'm excited for I'm excited for the widgets. And the interesting thing, I'm interested to see, because I use different third-party apps as well. I'm interested to see how the developers are going to switch the coding and switch their upgrade their apps to match this design. I'm very interested to see how they're going to do it. The journal app is good, yes. Um So someone asked if the journal app is good. The journal app is good. I don't think, to be honest, because I did do a little preview of it on the iPhone, and it was not applicable on the phone. I'm not that person, and I think a lot of users will agree. Doing their journal on the phone, it's not gonna work. Right? It's not gonna work because there's so many things that are distracting you on your phone. I don't see how I'm going to be doing there. I rather scroll than actually journal on my phone. Now, if it would make sense for them to put it on the iPad, because, and I hope when they do bring it to the iPad, the iPad version, it has a little more functionality. It may not compete with apps like Good Notes and Notability, which I do use and have, but I think it's a good starting point for people who want to document and they just want to have a space where they want to write their thoughts. And it does give you the privacy, the option to lock the journal with your Face ID or so forth. So it's a good starting app, I would say, for those who want to start digital journaling. If you want to get into the more advanced journaling and so forth, there are other apps that are available. But this is a good start for within the Apple ecosystem. So they did test run it on the iPhone, but again, it wasn't available on iPad. I hope that answers your question, Daniel. Right. So I mean, yeah, so back to like the widgets for Mac OS. I am interested to see how the third party apps and the developers are actually going to update their apps to seamlessly integrate with this fluid and this liquid design. And like I'm really interested to see how they're going and the adaptability of those different apps. I'm interested to see how that is going to all play out, right? So I think that's it for Mac OS. Again, continuity within the Apple ecosystem is going to also um get a little more upgrade. Now, does it work perfectly? Not all the time. Let's be honest, right? It doesn't work perfectly all the time. But because sometimes you'll be wanting to switch from your phone to your iPad to your computer, and sometimes the continuity does not come up. So I hope that when this new OS they fix that kink or that little issue that it usually takes place. But they continuity is they're making improvements with the continuity, and they also did mention that the AI is going to be all, oh, the wallet will be your wallet will be in Apple Wallet will be upgraded. So that is a plus as well. So if you have orders, you can start tracking your orders. So the AI, Apple Intelligence, is going to pull those tracking informations, and they're going to actually give you those notifications on your different devices and stuff. So they're doing little things, and again, it's the little features and everyday use cases of these different devices where users will see the little features that they didn't really talk about in the keynote. They just mentioned the major things, and that's what people look for. But as you continually use the new OS and you come across different features, they either make a big difference if you're into that, or you just continue your day. Right? So they're heavily focusing on productivity, like I said, that unification within the ecosystem, making everything seamless, making everything work together, making everything simple for users. I think that's the major focus with this upgrade as well. Right. Again, I'm going to be covering I need to do a full series on the automation part of it, where that Apple Shortcuts is very deep, and there's so much that you can set on your various devices. Uh I I think I just scratched the surface, but they you can go very deep with the automations as well, right? So, and Journal will be on the Mac too, thankfully. So they're bringing it out back in out into the ecosystem. The Photos app will definitely get a redesign as well. The Games app, I do believe, gets a redesign, and also they're going to make improvements with the passwords and so forth. The passwords app, which I have been loving, uh, because I don't remember my passwords. Now, this is where a lot of people get the headache when it comes to upgrades for any operating system. It doesn't matter if you're in the Apple ecosystem, if you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, if you're in the Android ecosystem. Once there's such a major upgrade or update to an operating system, the first question is it compatible with your current devices? And this is what a lot of persons have to start paying attention to. And if you are a business owner or you are a content creator or a creative, when you are going to be making purchases, it doesn't matter which device. A pro tip is that you want to think long term. Yes, we will want our devices and have all the latest updates to last us for the next 20 years, but that is not really possible because technology is advancing every day. New things are coming out every day. Yesterday's hardware or today's hardware is going to become obsolete by next week. And that is the reality of it. All right. Because of how everything is progressing. And so when you're thinking about buying a piece of hardware or a device, you want to look at the long term of how long you want this device to last for you. Again, you have to consider budget and all those things. but also you got to look at what is compatible with the different things that you are going to be using or putting on that device. So with that being said, Mac OS 26 is going to be compatible with your Mac Air with silicone. Anything that has the silicone, um and they give a specific year. So MacBook Air with Apple Silicon 2020 and later. Anything before 2020 will not get the updates. MacBook Pro with Apple Silicon 2020 and later. So if you go to your Apple icon to the top and you click on About This Mac, it's going to show you the name of your device, especially if you're using a MacBook Pro, the Air, or a Mac Mini or whatever. It's going to show you which processor you have, whether it's the M series. That means it's an Apple Silicon processor, and it's also going to tell you the year that your device is. So if it's 2020, 21, 22, 23, 2019, or whatever, right? So that is how you can know if your device is compatible. So MacBook Pro, with Apple Silicon 2020 and later, MacBook Pro 16-inch 2019, the 13-inch 2020 with the four Thunderbolt ports. So these are the three MacBook Pros that they that can get the Mac OS 26. iMac, anyone who has an iMac from 2020 and later, anyone who has a Mac Mini from 2020 and later. So by time next year or maybe next 2 years, if you bought your Mac Mini and it's the Mac Mini with the M1 chip and it's 2020, I would say that you may want to think about getting an upgrade next year. Or let's say, for example, you may have a MacBook Pro that is have an M1 chip and it is the version year is 2020. You might want to start budgeting or considering to get an upgrade, right? If you can. Right? Then you have Mac Studio 2022 and later, Mac Pro 2019 and later. Right? So that is it for Mac OS. I'm an iPad girl, so when I saw the work flows, this is thing. I'm very happy to see to experience what the iPad OS 26 is going to be with the liquid glass and this intuitive windowing system that they uh demonstrated. You're able to put your folders on the dock now, especially for persons you may be deep in planning mode, and so you may need to have Notion, calendar, reminders, Apple Freeform, your music going, your focus app going, and so forth. And now you can layer it, and there's some other smaller features with the windowing system where if you just want everything else in the background, but just that one window that you want to focus on coming up to the front, it's going to give you that option. So there's some little things that you can do, all right? And also, yes, Preview has finally made it to the iPad. All right, Preview has finally made it to the iPad. So those who use Mac OS, you know that there is a Preview app for PDFs and other document types. So now the Preview app is going to be on the iPad. All right. Let me see what else. I think that is it. Oh, you be have the option to have your icons too. The focus modes is my uh area. There's some of the Windows too will have a little more refinement within the apps as well to make it a little more vibrant. And they really talked about this is the multitasking area. that they talk about. You will have your window in feature here. So it does give you the option to do the move and resize, but also fill and arrange. And notice your menu in system will be coming up here as well. It will only be applicable when you tap. It will appear, and then if you're doing anything in that app, it disappears. Right? And yes, they talk about the expose. So we see how you can switch between your various windows, and your menu bar is coming in. I think iPad users have been waiting for this because sometimes we need to take a moment to remember how to do certain things to remove our window or so. Right? Folders in the dock, supercharge file apps, your previews will be coming, and also this is good news because I use Final Cut Pro for the iPad to do like short form content sometimes. And the minute you swipe out of it, it stops the export. And that is annoying. And that's why I don't use e- uh, Final Cut Pro on the iPad. So I'm very thankful that because of the silicone chips and the power of the chips that are in the devices, now we're able to have that heavy processing in the background. So you can be exporting your file and also doing something else. Or you can go move over to a different app, and it will still go. I'm happy for that as well. All right, so Apple Intelligence again is coming back. You can There's going to be a little more improvement with image playground and your writing tools as well. And reminders is going to be heavy with Apple Intelligence. Apple Reminders is a task manager, and so it's going to help you even at an even more greater pace for you to accomplish your different tasks. And I'm super excited for persons who use Apple Reminders in that way. Right? So these are some of the features of what the communication aspect would be. You can screen your new, it's the same thing. The phone app comes to the iPad. Yes. So you will have the features like the call screening, hold assist, and your live translations. You can add backgrounds, you can see your contact posters and all the things. And you can also do polls in the chat. All right. I do believe also inside of the math notes, you can now create graphs in 3D. So that's an additional feature that has been added to the math notes. And oh, with the Notes app as well, the conversations that you capture in your phone app as audio recordings with transcriptions. I don't believe a lot of people know that they can do this, but you can also record your call, or and it sends it over into Apple Notes, and then you will get a full transcription. You can get a summary of that call and all the things, and now you can also export it. Right? All right, so for iPad OS 26, these are the compatible devices. Any iPad Pro with the M4 chip, iPad Pro 12.9, the third generation and later, iPad Pro 11-inch, first generation and later, iPad Air M3 chip, iPad Air with the M3, M2, the standard iPad Air with the third generation and later, the regular iPad with the A16 chip, the regular iPad with that is 8th generation or later. If you have the iPad mini, it's going to be a 17 Pro as well as the 5th generation and later. All right. Okay, so the last one I'm going to look at for tonight is Watch OS, because there are a few people who may have a Apple Watch, or you may be considering to buy an Apple Watch. Uh, they have they have dominated in this area with regards to their watches. So again, having that seamless flow throughout all the devices are there. One of the things that they really focus in on is not only the glass look. The glass look is going to look very nice on the watch, but more importantly, it's the motivation in real time, your workout buddy. So as you're running, you're walking, whatever is your workout that you are doing, you're gonna actually have that natural voice with encouragement. And they've also made some refinements to the actual workouts that you have on the watch. So they're making it a little more fluid and accessible. Let me see. You can also, it's going to also help you to celebrate milestones and also keep you on track on your progress with your workout. Right. So, one of the things that they did talk about is the stackable feature on the latest of the watches. So they're doing a little upgrades with the stack in area here. So you will also see that you can manage your unwanted calls here as well. You can have your live translation. So a lot of the features from your phone will be shown on your watch. And of course, I'm hoping that they give us some new some new watch faces as well, as they often would. And the smart stack is going to be using a prediction algorithm based on the different things that you actually use on your watch constantly. So it's going to actually make that smart stack a little more intuitive based on your daily routines, right? Flick risk, which is your gesture movements. You can mute calls, silence timers, dismiss notifications, and a whole lot of other things that they listed out by rotating your wrist away from you. And this is interesting to see. Now, I know that some people might turn off that feature, but it just depends because sometimes you might be talking, and if you're that type of person like me who uses their hands to talk a lot, I might be talking to someone, I might flick my wrists away from me, I might disconnect a call. So I'm interested to see how intuitive that is. And again, not all features you use, but I'm interested to see with the gesture, how reactive it is, right? And you have the automatic adjustment volume. Notes is coming to the Apple Watch, as I mentioned earlier. So they're just doing a little of upgrades to the Watch OS 26. These are the watches. If you have a Apple Watch, these are the watches that will be getting the upgrade. The Watch SE in the second generation, Apple Watch Series 6, Series 7, Series 8, Series 9, Series 10, and the Apple Watch Ultra and Ultra 2. Okay. With all of that being said, whew, it was a very good first day with regards to the announcement of the OS 26. I'm really looking forward to how these different features can improve productivity for users, more specifically for my entrepreneurs and content creators. And also, there's some smaller features that may not have been mentioned in the keynote. But I know definitely as you start using the devices and using the new operating system, you're going to find all the different cool features that are available. Let me know in the chat if what is the one thing you guys are looking forward to using with OS 26, and which device you're looking to explore with OS 26. For me, like I said, because I use Mac OS, I use the TV, Apple TV, iPad, iOS, and all things. I think the one that I'm most interested in is my my iPad, because I use the iPad quite a lot. And I'm definitely looking forward to see exactly how uh, it's going to help with the different workflows that I already have integrated into my iPad that makes it my productivity co-pilot. And like I've been teaching a lot others. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions as it relates to the upcoming features, let me know in the chat. I will definitely answer your questions. Let me know in your comments, especially if you're viewing this on the replay. All right, so that's all. That like an overview or a review or of Apple's annual Worldwide Developers Conference. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's Creative Flow live stream. I appreciate you. If you have not subscribed and liked, please go ahead and do. And I will see you guys back in the next live stream. Again, if you come back to the replay or those who are watching on the replay, let me know in the comments what are you most excited to look at or what you're most excited or looking forward to with regards to the new OS 26 and your devices. All right. So thank you so much to my Substack community and my YouTube community for joining. I will see you guys back in next week's Create a Flow Live.